Welcome to Fieldsports Britain. Coming up, Realtree pro staffer Simon Barr is enjoying the sport of Prime Ministers. He's ferreting on the North Cornish coast. Sporting shooter editor Dom Holtam is stalking and he has a close encounter of the furry kind. First, equally hairy, the Steve Jobs of the shooting world, Mark Gilchrist has designed a hunting app. Mark is a roll-your-sleeves-up kind of bloke. Shooting, pest control and cooking what he has shot are the labours of his love. But the last few weeks have seen him sitting down not on a quad bike, but at a desk, writing computer code. After months of teaching himself how to program computers, he has developed an app that has applications for every hunter in the country, if not the world. Over to Mark to explain what the Game for Everything mapping application, or GEMMA, is for.
I go out rabbit shooting a lot. The only farmers that never criticise what I do are the guys that have actually driven for me. And I remember thinking, what I need to do is get this information of where I've shot everything to the farmer. My frustration points build a bit because when I'm shooting all the time, I need to make an hour's worth of phone calls to farmers, giving them feedback, and I'm doing that every day. And I can remember thinking, there's got to be a way that we can convey this information much easier and more accurately. So I thought what you need is a GPS mark of everything you've shot and where you've been. So I started off programming computers in January. I bought the books and I taught myself, and we've now got to a stage where I've got an iPhone app and an Android app. I think there's something really exciting about having a database of everything you've shot and everywhere you've been, whether it's rabbit shooting, stalking, walking up grouse, shooting abroad. You've got all of that data on your phone that, as time goes on, we can build functions and analyse it and get information out of it that you might find really useful as a shooter.
So to recap, it's a personal diary, an electronic game book, a management tool, a historical archive, great to show your mates, and a means of showing a farmer you are doing a good job. Here's one we prepared earlier.
If he was fresh and he was coming to me for the first time and he could show me on a computer the fact that he's been on somebody's farm, he's pinpointed where the problems are, and he's able to email that to the landowner or the land agent, whoever it might be. It just shows a degree of professionalism and the willingness to do the job properly and to actually report back. And to an agent, you know, if the landlord comes along and says, oh, the rabbits are eating all the crops, he's got something tangible that he can show the agent or show the landlord and say, look, this is what we're doing about it. Rabbits were shot here, 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 here and here. The guys shot X number of rabbits over the holding in X number of weeks. You know, we are working at it, but it's a hell of a problem, and it just breaks the ice and it gives some credibility and to an agent or a landlord or a new applicant or a new farm or whatever it might be. So yeah, absolutely vital.
To show how easy it is, Mark will take us on a short evening's lamping.
Right, now we're going to go rabbit shooting. As you can see, I've got my rifle, I'm on my quad bike, I've got my lamp, all the latest gear, and we're going to map it at the same time. So I'll show you how it works. Start up the application. We're going to click Start Logging because we want to start the GPS running, and it wants to know, are we starting a new trip or we're going to go to the last one? No, we're going to, yes, we're going to start a new trip. It's firing up the GPS. Okay, and that's it. We are now logging. Let's get some rabbit. In fact, I think I've just shot a rabbit. And there we go, we are on one rabbit. Okay, let's get on. These rabbits aren't going to get shot themselves. I think I'm having a heart attack. No, right, open it back up again. I think we'll just shoot a fox. There we go, we shot a fox. Bang, just shot another rabbit. Shot another rabbit. We're on 7 rabbits, 3 foxes, 3 hares. Now I'll go back to the computer and I'll show you how it all works. Right, so you've got fox number 3 rabbit number 6 and rabbit number 7. As you can guess, we shot a few things where we started, which is here. So you've got the geolocation points. That was where we did the piece to camera, just there. That's where the those 2 trees were missing in the orchard. That was, I think, where I ran out of breath, or maybe it was there. Oh, I mean, the imaginary quad ran out of imaginary petrol. So you can see that the accuracy is pretty tight. And what you want to do is, obviously, as you go round and round and get more than 6 rabbits, which I hope most of you can get, you can build up a picture across all the farms of where you've been and what you've shot.
Mark's app is set up for rabbits, foxes, all the species of British deer and hares, and he can adapt it for other quarry in other parts of the world. So wherever you hunt, you'll have an exact GPS record of the spot of where you took that shot, and you will have it for the rest of your life. Imagine revisiting and reliving taking that rogue impala in Mozambique, or where you shot that fox in the rain the morning of your probation officer's kid's christening in Norwich. The possibilities are endless. That Mark Gilchrist, he's like Bill Gates. So the app costs just £2.99. Mark, of course, would like you to buy it through Google Play and the iPhone App Store. Simply search for Gemma, spelt funny, G4EMA. If you want more info about the concept and its applications, Mark has been doing some instructional films which can be found on his YouTube site, Mark Gilchrist Game Cooking. If you're watching this on YouTube, click here to look at Mark's channel. From the white heat of technology to the coal face of news, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Britain News. George Digweed has returned from the latest World Championship in Cyprus with his 20th world title in a career that spans 4 decades. He says it was a sweet victory, especially with such a great score.
To get there and to shoot 199 out of 200 in the extremes of heat, you know, it was 36 degrees while we were shooting. Very strong field, international field. You know, I'm very pleased to have achieved it.
Former Prime Minister Tony Blair says he only supported the ban on hunting with dogs accidentally. The Labour Party got themselves in a muddle and Blair misspoke on television, according to former Government Minister Jack Straw in his memoirs. Well, they're under starters orders and they're off. The Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust's Woodcock Watch gets exciting this week as the 12 satellite-tagged birds start thinking about the return to the UK. They left the UK in the spring and went to locations as varied as Scandinavia, Poland and Russia. Monkey has made most progress. He flew 3,000 miles from the Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall to Russia. Lazy Derwent only migrated a few hundred miles from County Durham to Sweden. Visit woodcockwatch.com. And finally, an angler from the Shetland Islands has broken the Scottish turbot record, hauling in a 29.5-pound fish. Robert McMillan on board the boat Oberon caught the fish northwest of the Muckle Fluga Lighthouse. The British record is 33 pounds 12 ounces, caught off Devon. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Britain News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. Now, from one old deer to a group of young deer, Dom Holtam can practically touch them. Being relaxed in life can be hugely beneficial. Things just tend to happen. Sporting shooter editor Dom is a laid-back sort of fellow anyway, but with his magazine deadlines met and the sun shining down, this early evening autumn stalk has a sense of being a chilled-out affair. And as if by magic, we get a flash of a bottom.
It looked like a rose bottom to me, with just a fleeting glimpse. It's just grazed round the corner, so we'll just have a sneak and a look. But it's not where we're here, and the wind's coming across us, so we should be okay to get a little bit closer, hopefully.
A fallow's bottom would have been better, but never mind.
Lovely to see roe deer. Absolutely my favourite deer to see in the countryside.
From the gateway we see that this roe is not alone and she has twins with her. make that triplets. Lying prone and with the wind in our favour, they stay put until they sense something coming through the crop. It's a fallow, and where there's one, there could be loads behind it. Once the coast is clear, Dom gets on his sticks, just in case. Nothing is in tow, but 1 minute later the doe and her 3 young reappear from the woodland on the right, just 60 yards ahead of us. We assume they'll look up and be gone, but not a bit of it. And we get some stunning footage of these beautiful deer. The kids are all young bucks.
We're not hiding behind a tree. We're not crawling through the undergrowth. We're just standing here, calmly, quietly. And it is absolutely amazing how quickly nature learns to ignore you if you stay still and quiet for long enough.
Eventually the doe notices us, but is not off straight away. One of the bucks heads off with her, but the 2 remaining bucks are undaunted. With the sun dropping, we need to get on, but it's difficult to walk away from such a close encounter.
I thought maybe I'll just set the sticks up just so that if a mature fallow buck did show, I'd be in position to take a shot. And lo and behold, the family of roes, which is a mature doe and the 3 young bucks, trotted up, grazing and playing and just having a good time in the sunshine, and ended up about, I'd say, 10 metres, no more than that, literally no more than that, and oblivious to our presence, you know. And we were stood in the middle of the track, still. I had my binoculars up, David had the camera covering his face, so perhaps we didn't quite look like a human threat. But it's the closest I've ever got to roe deer for that length of time, you know, to be just a few paces away and observe them. Absolutely brilliant, and it shows, you know, what can be accomplished just with a bit of good fortune and basic fieldcraft. So I know, really, that really made my evening, to be honest. And if we don't see another deer, then I'll still be going home a happy boy. But we better go up the high seat now because the sun's starting to dip and the evening is drawing in. So we'll crack on.
The high seat offers a fox and a very late roe. Too late for us, but, well, Dom's mind has been on other things.
Predictably, after peaking early in the evening, we didn't see a fallow buck tonight. We did see a rather splendid roe buck from the high seat, just on very last knockings of light coming across the field. But hey, they'll be here another day, and it was such a privilege to get so close to those roe earlier on. You know, we spent most of the time at the high seat just talking about that. It was really, really good, and you don't always have to pull the trigger to have a great night out with your gun. So we're going to head back now, but all in all, an evening to remember.
From Surrey farmland to the rugged Cornish coast, Simon Barr's trying to stop the cliffs from falling into the sea.
This week I'm out with Scott Milne and his mate Richard Nancarrow in Cornwall doing a critical job, keeping Cornwall looking like Cornwall and not Norfolk. We're catching rabbits on the Cornish cliffs so the soil doesn't fall into the sea. And it's all for the benefit of the local community and holidaymakers who use the paths. I hear quite recently you bumped into the Prime Minister whilst out ferreting.
Yeah, a couple of Thursdays ago we were out here doing pest control for the National Trust, and we'd seen a lot of people all day. They'd gone by and commented and stopped and photographed us, and Then we wondered who these bunch was coming down over the cliffs to say hello. And Richard and I, we was out here, we thought to ourselves, Christ, he looks like David Cameron. And he walked down and it was David Cameron, his wife, his kids, some of his security. He sat down with us for the best part of 20 minutes, talked to us about ferrets and how his wife had ferrets as a child, and they handled the ferrets, played with them and asked us what we were about and why we were doing it. And to be fair, he was a real nice guy. He knew enough about the countryside and what was happening, and commented on the amount of rabbits that was there and a great job he thought we were doing for the National Trust, and a really nice guy all in all.
Not all holidaymakers are as sensible as the Prime Minister when it comes to pets and wildlife.
You've got to peg the nets down really tight, otherwise you end up with a person and a rabbit in the sea. We don't use dogs while we're personating out here for that situation. The rabbit will run off the cliff and there's holes on the edge of the cliff and the dog can't turn as fast as the rabbit. You will see public out here with their dogs chasing rabbits, and I'm sure many end up in the drink.
Apart from the lack of dogs, ferreting here is like ferreting anywhere. So what are the prospects for today?
There's obviously a big old wind blowing in off the sea. It's right on the headland. It's always a bit of a myth that rabbits don't bolt in the old cold wind, and they've probably gone up into out of the wind, so we'll just have to wait and see.
For any type of field sports, you couldn't get much better than this setting. This is absolutely stunning. Scott and Richard put ferret welfare above all. And those radio collars, what are those there to do?
Obviously the ferrets are underground and there's just a massive maze of holes and little tunnels for them to be burrowing along. Without them, and if they do decide to make a kill down there, we can quite easily lose them for a couple of hours, where they would normally go to sleep and you would lose them, where with this radio collar you can dig them out basically and carry on your day and have a better day than sitting around waiting for them to come out.
Richard is a keen breeder of ferrets. He is a kinsman of the man behind the famous Nan Carrow working cocker strain, so breeding skills must be in his blood. Right, Richard, we've seen your ferrets and they're particularly small. Is that something to do with the breeding?
Yeah, it's something I've done for the last 5 years, is constantly bred them with smaller ferrets, take the smaller ferrets out of a litter, bred them with smaller ones, purely to get the smaller size of ferret. Main reason being is you want a smaller ferret to be able to jump over the back of the rabbit and then be able to bolt it out of the hole, instead of a bigger ferret pinning it up against like a stop and then eating it, and then you get lie-ups and your day's spoiled.
It has been a slow day for ferreting. We only got 3. Scott thinks the wind is keeping them underground. It could also be that Scott and Richard are doing their job properly and these rabbits are genuinely under control. If you enjoyed this film, why not check out Team Wild TV and see what my hunting buddy Ian Harford's been up to this week.
Well, from small brown animals down holes to much bigger ones, it's Hunting YouTube. This is Hunting YouTube, which aims to show the best hunting, shooting and fishing videos that YouTube has to offer. With the British pheasant season underway, this week we look at the best driven bird shooting on YouTube. We start with quality. Ripley Castle Shoot is one of the many glorious driven shooting films made by us for Guns on Pegs. And what a cracker it is. Well, I would say that, wouldn't I? The Ripley Castle Shoot near Harrogate in North Yorkshire is a traditional driven game shoot with grouse moors where true sporting values still exist. And here's the film to tell you that. Another British channel to make a reasonable effort in this area is Gecko Web Design UK, which does the filming for Welsh Shooting Estate and agency giant Bettis Hall. Its latest is Bird Hunting at Bettis Hall, which it put up 6 months ago and has still had fewer than 500 views, but deserves many more. If it has had more by the time you watch it, well, aha, observe the power of our hunting YouTube series. Guns on Pegs and Gecko Web Design UK are the new kids on the pheasant shooting filmmaking block. The old guard is represented by Sporting Scene, which publishes books and DVDs and puts clips from its wares on YouTube. Sporting Scene Classic Game Shooting Pheasant looks at the evolution of the sporting shotgun over the past 150 years, as well as taking one shooting pheasants on the fens. Popular, though dated. Another DVD seller, Shooting and More, has the annoying habit of showing everything at normal speed and then the same clip slowed down. So if it wasn't a great clip the first time, it was doubly dull the second time. Here you are watching Driven Pheasant Partridge Duck Shoot Episode 6 Part 2, but Shooting and More appears to own a tripod, which makes a difference to camera work. There are lots and lots of lovely game shoot days filmed on wobbly cameras and uploaded to YouTube. The only film close to a pheasant shooting film on Shooting Times UK's channel channel is How to Skin a Pheasant, uploaded by Shooting Times UK in 2007, which is the YouTube equivalent of the Cambrian outburst. And if you don't know what that is, you will have to look it up. Presented by Shooting Times' cookery writer Mark Hinge, this film does what it says on the tin. The best driven bird shooting films, apart from those made by our good selves, he adds immodestly, are from the USA and Spain. For an example of a great Spanish partridge shooting film, I have picked Red-Legged Partridge Driven Hunt, uploaded by Hunt Trip Spain. It's a shoot promo, but get over it, it's got some good shooting in it. We go to America and Africa with Mike Yardley. In Fausty Guns 3-3 Hunting, Mike shoots pheasants in Pennsylvania, quail and a rattlesnake in Georgia, and is apparently worshipped as a god by locals in Africa. So all in all, another day in the office for the top shooting writer and contender for greatest living Englishman. Then there are foreigners who come to the UK for the shooting. I love Partridge Game Shooting in UK 2012 by Assad272, which raises more questions than it answers. Its description calls it Partridge Shooting in UK by Sheikh Asghar and Assad. Who is Sheikh Asghar? Why is this called In the Memories of My Dad? And what is the Creature Comforts microphone doing in all the shots? If you think that's me being mean about foreigners and their funny way of talking, I have to say what a joyful and enthusiastic film it is. You will love it. You can click on any of these films to watch them. If you have a YouTube film you would like us to pop into the weekly top 8, send it in via YouTube or email me the link, charlie@fieldsportschannel.tv. Well, as you're used to me saying, if you like shooting, you will love The Shooting Show. On this week's Shooting Show, Barr Pace is in Africa on the trail of bush pig and warthog. The bush is too dense for the cameraman, so he straps on a head cam and sets off. The team also puts the Seiko A7 through its paces. Taking its heritage from the popular Tikka T3 and Seiko 85, does this centrefire compromise on quality in order to hit its alluring price point? And more importantly, how does it shoot? As always, the show has coverage of news and events. Well, we are back next week, and if you're watching this on YouTube, don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button that's somewhere up there in the sky. Or you can go to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv, where you can click to like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. This has been Fieldsports Britain. Next week, Badgers.